Good morning, everyone, from Mercer County Park in West Windsor Township, New Jersey. It's the 2025 Minor League Cricket Championship here on the MLC Network. Today's game from the East Division, it's the New Jersey Stallions and the Manhattan Yorkers. It is a bright and sunny day here in New Jersey. It's bright and sunny at the top of the points table for the Stallions, who enter after going through opening weekend undefeated at 4-0. The Manhattan Yorkers at 1-5. They have to win every single game and get some help if they want to play postseason cricket. Hi, everyone. My name is Brian Barish. A delight to be in your company as always for some exciting minor league cricket. It's a very intriguing matchup we have today. The Manhattan Yorkers won the toss, and they have sent Jesse Singh and the New Jersey Stallions into bowl. The Stallions, one of just 3 unbeaten teams remaining in minor league cricket season 2025, alongside the Atlanta Fire and the Baltimore Royals. The teams are out on the field. We're about set to get underway. And of course, all 6 teams in the Eastern Division are in action today. The Philadelphians taking on the NYC Titans, and the Manhattan Yorkers facing off against New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. Those games happening in Glenville, New York, where most of the action has been. These Manhattan Yorkers playing out the final 6 games of their season here at Mercer County Park. And after a difficult doubleheader loss, sweep if you prefer, to the Philadelphians a weekend ago, having lost in that shortened 7-over match in the first game, and then looking in control only to see the Philadelphians once again snatch the victory away. And it's been a difficult road for them. They haven't played bad cricket at all. They've played solidly, but they only have the one win to show for it. Running through the teams for you is the Stallions. It looks like they've got Dominique Ricci and Ashke Hamaraj, who in their last game staked the Stallions to a partnership of 71. Manoj Acharya, the captain for the Yorkers, arguably one of the best bowlers in the Eastern Division, will begin things from the dog park end, and he starts things with a dot ball. Game time temperature 70 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind, according to my watch, says 4 miles an hour, but it feels at times like more than that. The Yorkers in the blue uniforms with the yellow trim. Ricci guides it away. Dominique Ricci has played all 5 seasons with the New Jersey Stallions. This is his 57th MILC match. So far this season, 71 runs from his 4 innings. An average of 17.75. In his career in minor league cricket, he's averaging just a shade over 25 runs. Defended again to the offside. And they will scamper through for a run. And the first run comes through in the 3rd ball of this first innings. This is the 8th time these 2 teams have met since the beginning of the competition in 2021. All 8 matches have been here at Mercer County Park. All but one of them have been on this ground. The other one was on field number 2, which is, I'd say, probably about it feels like a mile from where we're sitting. This time turned to the onside. The fielder is there, but it gets by him. Slight misfield there. And it's been little things like that that have made the difference. And we saw that in the final over against the Philadelphians in that 7-over contest. Raymond Ramratad winning off of a misfield with a 4 on the final ball. Worked the way to the offside, and that seems to be the spot. They thought about a second. At least Riki was thinking about it, but they went back. Yasser Muhammad, who's in the lineup for the Manhattan Yorkers, has played a key role. And with that man, Manoj Acharya, has taken a 5-for in the very first game back in 2021 between these teams. He was 5 for 18 and then took a 3-for in his one season with the Stallions against the Yorkers. That was in 2023. Well, again, worked away, but in the same spot. Well, not able to get a result out of that one. First over is in the books. And having been sent in the bat, the New Jersey Stallions are 3 for none.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Well, the last time the New Jersey Stallions played, as Dhruv Pawar will come in, it's a bowl from the Edinburgh Road end. They faced the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers up in New York, and that was a very, very, I would say, wild contest. The Cavaliers looked like they were going to get bowled out for about 120 runs, and then Kevin Christian, came in and hit the ball all over the place. Pawar having a good season so far for the Yorkers. Tried to drive that down the ground, but can't pierce the infield. Again, if you're new to cricket, each of these teams will have 20 overs, 20 sets of 6 balls to score as many runs as possible. Riki opens up. This time he goes to the offside. And there's the first boundary of the game. And Dominique Riki, who is known for big scores and is up there on the list, a fluid drive. And it just bounced inside the rope for a 4, so he goes to 6. Riki and Hamraj in that win over the Stallions. So Riki tries again to cut it away, and it just caught the inside of the tram lines. Riki 33, Hamraj 38, and then the Cavaliers bowlers ground them to a halt. Defensive shot played by Riki. Good bowling by Dhruv Pawar. Who so far in 12 innings has taken 11 wickets. Look for the catch, he's got it. And an early breakthrough. At least they won it. They were celebrating. And umpire Mihir Patel has not given it. And that will do it, even though the Stallions thought they had it. Rather, the Yorkers thought they had it. They do not. And after everybody shakes heads, that is the end of the over. But Pawar bowls well. He bowls 4 at the end of 2. They're 7 for none.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Manujacharya will continue from the dog park end. And Ricky tried for a swipe. It's given as a wide, and they'll take one extra besides that. Well, as potent as the Stallions are, it'll be up to the Yorker bowling attack to be as tidy as possible. And again in the same spot, and again it's the same result. So 2 consecutive wide bowls for Manujacharya. A little uncharacteristic from him. Manuj has taken 66 wickets. I thought he had 67 a minute ago, but Ricky takes another run. They go now to 11 for none, and that is the first legal delivery of this inning, of this over rather. This second Manujacharya over. As we take a look at the all-time leaderboard, Manujacharya currently sitting 7th all-time in wickets. He is 4 behind Shadley von Skulkvik for the 6th spot. Played defensively by Hamraj. Only one boundary so far given up by the Yorkers bowling. And other than those wides, it's been pretty tidy in the early going, but so in this power play, we mentioned the only 2 players are allowed outside the 35-yard circle. That one hits him high on the pad. And again, Acharya going for that leg side line. He has gone after it 3 times of the 4 deliveries that he has proffered in this over. Be interesting to see how this particular pitch plays. There's a fair bit of green on it. We haven't had a whole lot of moisture in the area, so I imagine the decision by Manujacharya to bowl first is to get a good idea as to how this particular pitch is going to play. Well, again, this time hops over the leg stump. Tried to play that one on, but no. So good bowling by Acharya. They did come through for a leg bye on the previous ball. Still 2 to come. And again on the legs. And looks like that did catch the outside of the bat, says umpire Ritesh Patel. 2 veteran local umpires in the New Jersey area, Mihir Patel and Ritesh Patel. 1 over to come, as you see Mihir. 1 ball to come, rather, in this 3rd over. We're halfway through the power play as of now. That ball kept low, and that's dabbed to the onside by Hamraj, who will keep the strike. And after 3 overs here in Mercer County, the New Jersey Stallions are 14 without loss.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So Hamraj will stand in from the right side. And Pawar will continue from the Edinburgh Road end. Well, a good ball to start, tailing away from the righty. Opened up, went through to the keeper, and he's gone. Held on by the man in the slip, and that is the end of Akshay Hamraj. There will be no big partnership. This time there was no doubt. A good ball by Dhruv Pawar, who picks up his first wicket of the morning. Now the New Jersey Stallions are 14 for 1. Good ball in there by Dhruv Pawar. And we see it again. That turned very nicely. And the catch made very easily at the first slip position by Chef. And here we see Sai Mukamala. Mukamala's had a good solid season this year, although in that last outing, he was one of the many victims by the Somerset Cavaliers bowlers. In fact, he was one of 4 wickets taken by Salman Nazar. Was caught out by Abdullah Ghazi in the deep. He needs 11 runs, Sai Mukamala, the New Jersey native, to get to 1,000 runs in minor league cricket. Currently sits 26th overall. And Sai, it's been a very interesting season for him because in addition to doing his normal batting duties, he has proven himself a capable bowler. They haven't used him that much in the last 2 games. They've only used him for an over, but he took a 4 for an opening day. And he is a cricketer of many talents. You can call him a true all-arounder. And a bright future, you would think, for the U.S. national team. And he tries to fence at that first delivery from Dhruv Pawar, and it goes into the hands of Pranab Chattopadhyay. Again, one slip in place. And Chef looking for another. Good bowling here. Pawar has bowled very well in his 10, given up just the one boundary to Dominique Ricci. Defensive shot played. Be interesting to see how they play the rest of this power play. Right now, they haven't seen anything. Sai hasn't seen anything worth getting excited about, and it is a wicket maiden for Dhruv Pawar. And so the Stallions, their powerful offense being held in check at the end of 4 overs. They are 14 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Adi Kappa making his minor league cricket debut will come in now to bowl from the Dog Park end. Left arm leg spinner looking for the LBW, but not on this occasion, and it's a good start from him. A lot of good youth players coming up, especially in the New York area. We've seen some not only for the Yorkers, but also for the Titans. And Ricky has to play that one defensively. He has not had the chance to express himself in the way that we know he can. Went for the big sweep, but no contact. And once again, extras coming. So it'll be a wide +1. 2 more to the total. And Kappa trying the bowl in the same spot his captain was bowling. So Mukamala now comes on strike. Ricky, by the way, we mentioned where people were in the all-time batting table. Ricky currently sits 6th with 1,373 runs. Again, dabbed away. Well, if you take away those wides, the Stallions are closer to 10, and this wicket, it looks like it's a combination of good bowling plus this wicket. Off the pad. Loud appeal, but to no avail. Looks like that was going down leg, but good bowling by the youngster. You see the crowd on hand, a good-sized crowd gathered here. And I know also a couple of the Philadelphians fans who said that it's a little too far to drive to New York, so we'll just take in some cricket here. Again, looking right on the leg, but again, Mukamala can't get to it. He now has faced 7 deliveries without scoring. It's been very difficult the last couple of games for him. This time he tries to play it away, and it's a good stop in the infield, and that'll do it. Well, 2 wides aside, a great over to begin life in minor league cricket for Kappa. At the end of 5, the Stallions are 16 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Preach Shop now comes in from the Edinburgh Road end to finish out the power play. And Shaw as well bowling superbly for the Manhattan Yorkers. Again, coming in with a record of 1-5. And at the very least, if they want to play in the postseason and make the top 2, they got to win all 4 of their remaining games. It isn't going to be easy because they've got 2 really good teams in front of them. Ricky decides he wants to try and open things up. He drives this one towards long off, and they'll take a run. First run in a while for Dominique Ricky. Mukamala comes up. The field being shifted around. Shy, former member of the New Jersey Stallions. And so far, he is coming off of a three-fer. As that one again driven down the ground towards long off, and Mukamala takes a run. So a couple of singles. Shaw had a three-fer in the second game against the Philadelphians last Friday. A long way off for both teams. Goes for the sweep, and it's a good sweep, and it's aerial, and it's 6. Great sweep by Dominic Ricci. It was like a caged tiger ready to pounce, and he did. A good low line drive, low and slow like a good pot of chili. And the first maximum of the contest. He has the only 2 boundaries. He has a 4 and a 6, so he's 15 off of 17. Shorter ball, and Ricci has to defend it, but the infield is there. They're playing it looks like the 2 fielders who are outside the circle are playing at long on and long off. 1 slip in place. Well, again, he tries to open up, didn't get much wood to it, gets by the fielder, but wasn't deep enough for an attempt at a run. Final ball in this shot over, which will complete the power play. It looks like it's going to be one of those innings, I think, and one of those matches where runs and boundaries are going to be at a premium here. Shorter ball whacks to the onside, and nobody's out there, except there is. They're going to think about 2. And it will be Dominic Ricci who will keep the strike as he goes on to 16. The power play comes to an end. The New Jersey Stallions were sent in the bat by the Yorkers, and they are 25 for 1 after 6.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
There you see Jesse Sings playing 11. And we'll see Jesse with the ball in his innings. We may or may not see him with the bat. And 33 runs from him to help steer the Stallions to a victory. Sachin Mailavarapu, who is a fantastic bowler in his own right. Anirudh Emanuel, known more for the ball than with the bat. That he was the guy who guided the team to victory in that thriller, as this one is driven down the ground. Kappa continuing from the dog park end, and he allows his first run off the bat. And he is now none for 3 as Ricci now goes to 17. And now that the restrictions have been loosened, they've got, again, right on the boundary at long on and long off. Dab to the onside, another single by Mukamala. He is now up to 991 runs in minor league cricket. Long on, long off at the boundary. And it looks like deep square. And also a man on the 45 as well, but everybody with their heels on the ropes, and this one is set towards the rope. It's deep, and it just bounces in front for a 4. So Ricci with his second boundary, opening up and found a spot in the field where a fielder wasn't. We had mentioned where they were placed on the boundary, and he hits that one sort of in that cow corner region. And a fantastic blast. It's time for us to play defensively. Little dab shot on, but they'll take one. And it looks like they're going to come back for two. And Riki with the wheels. And Mukamala was hauling buns as well. They were able to get the couple. So all of a sudden now that even though the fielding has been loosened up by the Yorkers by rule, Riki has, as he always seems to do, punching holes in the resistance. One of the many Guyanese players in this league and in this division. Tried to fence it away and work it away to the offside, and after realizing that a play wasn't imminent, he and Mukamala saunter through for a single. One ball still to come in the seventh over. And right now, this is tied for the last over went for 9. This over has gone for 9 as well. Defensive shot, but straight on, and Mukamala picks up another run, and he'll keep the strike. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6. 10 runs off that Kappa over. And at the end of 7, the New Jersey Stallions 35 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Well, here's a look at the Manhattan Yorkers side, captained by Manoj Acharya. We'll see Yasser Muhammad, I'm sure, with the ball later on. And then with the bat, Dinesh Patel, who's having a fine season so far. Derek Narayan as well, the man who spent 3 seasons with the Philadelphians before going on to the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers and now joining the Yorkers in Season 5. Pranav Chetapalliam, who's been doing very well behind the stumps. And Devanesh Sheth, who took the first catch in relieving Akshar Hamraj. And we said we were going to see Yasser Muhammad, and we have, as this first delivery to Sai Mukamala is driven deep to the offside, but they will come through for a single. Yasser having a great season in all aspects. He is scoring runs, he's taking wickets, and he's made some great catches. In fact, he made 2 nice catches in the last game against the New England Eagles to help what has been their only victory of the season so far. And driven again to the offside. And 1 run and only 1 only. 1 run only is what I meant to say. So 38 for 1. Mukamala now on 5. Oh, that one was a fuller toss, and Riki got a little bit of a toothpick to it and came off to the onside. Another run for them. 39 for 1. Riki now on 26 for 24. Well, that brings up again Mukamala. Same type of delivery and just over the fielder. Catch was the call, but it was a... here it is again, just by him. A fine leaping effort, but to no avail on that occasion. Another run from Mukamala. And again, he keeps going fuller and fuller, and that one was a full toss by Riki, but Yasser Muhammad let off the hook there. He gives up just 5 runs in that 8th over. The New Jersey Stallions are 40 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Beautiful, gorgeous, sunny, late summer day here in central New Jersey. The high, as we said, only going to be about 81 degrees. Right now it's 72. And it looks like it'll be Derek Narine who will take the ball for the first time. And Narine, who is a lifer with the Philadelphians for their first 3 seasons. He has played, a guy who's played all over the place. Driven down the ground, and it's a run. So, good defensive effort there to limit the run, as that one went through for a 4. So, 44 for 1 on Mukamala on 999 runs. And there it is, number 1,000 for Cy Mukamala. All 5 seasons played with the New Jersey Stallions. And a great milestone from him, and it's onward and upward for the youngster from New Jersey, his hometown minor league cricket team. And driven all the way down the ground. The sweeper's coming around, and they're not going to win the race. It's another 4. This one off the bat of Dominique Riki. And all of a sudden, the batting attack has come to life as Derek Narine has been greeted with a couple of boundaries. Well, this is the New Jersey Stallions offense that we've come to know and love. Well, they have seem to have been freed up after the power play. Cuts it away. The catch was the call, but it dropped in front of the fielder. That'll bring up the 50. There's a misfield. There's going to be a second run taken. 2 more for Dominique Riki, and the 50 comes up for New Jersey. And some polite applause from Jesse Singh and the dugout. As they try to cut to the offside. Final ball of the over, and Riki was trying to smack that into possibly back into Pennsylvania, but he gets enough to where they'll come through 4 runs. So Derek Narine, not a very good over from him, having given up 12 runs. At the end of 9, the New Jersey Stallions are 52 for 1. So you see the partnership, and It's been a relatively even partnership, although Riki has gotten more in the last over or so. 25 off of 18. And this is a partnership that does have the capability of getting to 50 pretty quickly, and probably in the next over or two. Yasser Muhammad will continue. And that one again is smacked down the ground, but they'll only take a run from it. Muhammad kept the Stallions to 5 runs in the first over. And he too coming off of a 3 for last Friday against the Philadelphians. Dab down to the offside, and reminds me of in baseball, we call that an infield single. It didn't go very far, but they'll take it. Two wickets for Yasser Muhammad. Oh, that's a full toss. And you got to be very careful with a batter like that, as that one will go all the way for 4 as Dominique Riki, his eyes lit up like saucers. And that was a beautiful stroke down the ground. Going to be a good hanging curveball in baseball, but no mistake there. And just a little push by Riki, who's a good player of good executed textbook shots. And Yasser Muhammad comes back with a good ball. We mentioned how good Yasser Muhammad's been with the ball so far. He's been good in the field as well. This one is turned on the onside, goes all the way to the rope. And it's a good stop. Well, he perhaps got very lucky that didn't slink over the rope. It was a good job by the fielders in the deep there and Dinesh Patel. Final ball of the over, and this one is golfed down the ground. They will chase after it for a while. It's through for another 4. So the second 4 by Dominique Riki. And this time it was a flatter shot, but it's his 5th boundary. And he, after 10 overs, he is a 44 off of 36. And at the midway point of this innings, the New Jersey Stallions are a 64 for 1 at the drinks break. Teams are set to go as we continue this first innings. The Manhattan Yorkers having elected the toss and sending in the New Jersey Stallions, and the Stallions 64 for 1. A good partnership in the middle between Mukamala and Dominique Ricci. Brian Barish here with you. Glad to have you along on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. The first of the two games between the two teams. They'll meet again tomorrow at 10:45 Eastern if you're interested in joining in. Well, this partnership has that 4 did in fact bring up the 50 partnership for Ricci and Mukamala, and it will be Mukamala to continue facing Dhruv Purwar. He tries to swipe at this one. It looks at a run. Oh, I think it's going to be awfully close, and he's gone. And Dominique Ricci is run out. A fantastic play as they were able to whip that one in. And Pranav Chattopadhyay darn near destroyed the wicket in the process. And Dominique Ricci will not get to a half century. He's run out on 44. It was ill-advised, perhaps. A good throw would have gotten him. A good throw it was, and an even better job by Chattopadhyay. You see him set up. Perfect angle. And he bunks over the middle stump. And Ricci is on his way back, dejected. So I imagine that would be Deep Patel who was in there, who made the throw in. And so Ricci 44 from 36, and it'll now be Christian Thurton, the Trinidad and Tobago wicketkeeper. Who comes in at number 4. So the Stallions, that partnership comes to an end on exactly 50 runs. And Thurton, in his first season in minor league cricket and with the Stallions, so far in 4 appearances, 73 runs, an average of 18 and a quarter. His strike rate is a positive 115. And his highest score came on August 30th. That was 38. Purwar went with a Yorker length ball. And Thurton is off the mark. We are checking in on the scores in the break of the other game that is happening in New York. We'll get to that in a moment. Mukamala cuts that one away, but to no avail. The New England Eagles and the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers have seen their match reduced to 17 overs, I imagine because of a wet outfield. Defensive shot played. Well, they come through for a single. Mukamala with his 13th run. We said he is now past the 1,000 run mark here in minor league cricket. We said currently sits 26th overall. Shorter ball whipped away there by Thurton. It's out in the deep. They'll have plenty of time for a couple. So 2 more. As Thurton has come in and said the water's nice and warm to try and get some runs here. Well, the New England Eagles in that game against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers have lost a wicket on the first ball of the game. Rizwan Mazar was caught. Meanwhile, back here, Thurton drives the ball down. And it is stopped by Derek Narine just to our left here in the commentary tent. Purwar is 1 for 9 after 3. He gets a big wicket with the run out of Dominique Ricci. At the end of 11, the New Jersey Stallions 69 for 2. Well, here's a look at the story so far. Akshay Hamraj went out early in the second over for 2 runs. And then Dominic Ricci and Sai Mukamala putting on a partnership of 50 runs before Ricci was run out as Patel got the ball into Pranav Chetapaliyam, and Chetapaliyam was able to break the wicket about 2 steps ahead of Dominic Ricci getting back. Well, perhaps an unfortunate end to that partnership, but Thurton so far looks like he's got the goods. And it is Preet Shah who will take over now from the Edinburgh Road end on the far side of our position. Had to cut it away. The pace so far for the New Jersey Stallions, a 126. I thought about it. That was very much a yes, yes, no. As Mukamala was about 5 steps down the wicket before he realized, before he was questioning his life choices there for a moment. Driven to the offside, coming all the way over on the long off. That's another run. So 70 for 2 now for the New Jersey Stallions. And I feel like a good total might be, I would say, about 140, 150, especially with that bowling attack for the Stallions looming. Jesse Singh, Stephen Wigg, down the ground. Looked like he outside in that ball, but right back to Preet Shah. Shah's now given up 10 runs from as many balls, so he's going along at a good clip. Shorter ball, launched. It is deep, and it is gone for 6. Sai Mukamala puts it into orbit. And it was a shorter ball, but it kept low, but it was read well by Mukamala with a fantastic swipe. And he is on to 19, and it looks like he might be ready to bust out. And a good change of a length and delivery. Keeps him to a single. And you could tell Sai was thinking about another drive. And that ends the 12th over. 8 more runs to the total for the men in purple and red. The Stallions 77 for 2. Saijeta Mukamala out there with Christian Thurton. He has his full name here, Christian Micah Ronaldo Thurton, and as our friends over on the Dirty Dozens Discord refer to him as C-Mart. As Dhruv Pawar continues from the dog park end and what will be his final over of the morning in his spell. He gets a dot ball. Down the ground, right towards us. It's gone for 6. A valiant effort, but just to the left. And I thought I was questioning my life choices for a moment, the way that came off. Zing! Right down the ground and cleared the rope by a good, we'll call that 15 feet. Mukamala, he's almost in Trogdor mode, burninating the countryside with those long boundaries. This time he's forced to play delivery, shorter delivery. Tails away, and it's given as a wide as that one flirted too much with the tram lines for umpire Ritesh Patel's liking. Cut away this time, but the fielder is there. Again, they've had roughly the same field. They have two men to the offside. Long on, long off. And that one, it's a yes, no. Yeah, this one's going to be close with a good throw, but it wasn't a good throw, and they'll come through for what should be a bye. $85 for 2. It is a bye. And one ball remains in this Dhruv Pawar over, the 13th. He went with the reverse sweep, or went with just a regular good old original flavor sweep. And it's 4 more to end this one off the bat of Christian Thurton. So 4 more, and Pawar ends his spell 1 for 20. A good sweep, as that one was right down Broadway. And no doubt 4. He went down on one knee, and Thurton is the type of player who plays with a fair bit of flash and flare, and you saw it there, 13 complete. And the New Jersey Stallions are 89 for 2. The projected score now for the Stallions, 136, as Yasser Muhammad will come back in from the Edinburgh Road end, having given up 17 runs in his first 2 overs. And we'll start to play armchair captain to kind of figure out maybe how the Yorkers will bowl the final 7 overs. Cut away by Mukamala, but one of 3 men on the offside inside the circle who make the stop. Manushacharya will probably be bowling in the depth. He has 2 overs to go. Mukamala tries the same shot. This time he is able to find a spot in the infield and comes very, very close to a 4, but was stopped. And the man out there is going to come off. That is Dinesh Patel, and that is not a good sign as he's clutching his hamstring as he chased in vain for that ball, and he is one of their leading batters, and that would not be good, and hopefully it is just a twinge. So they'll bring on a sub fielder, and as of right now they don't have anybody at at fine leg, at least a deep fine leg. They have a couple of men in the covers. Well, I should say that would be more a deep third man. $92 for 2. And a good ball, good bowling by Yasser Muhammad. And a full toss, and Thurton All he could do is walk away and shrug his shoulders. Yasser Muhammad bowling well. He gives up 3 in that over. And after 14, the New Jersey Stallions are 92 for 2. So already this partnership, which is just 1 ball less than 4 overs old, has been good for, 28 runs. And after Riki and Mukamala were able to put on an even 50, the overs, they only gave up 3. That's the least that they've allowed to have the Yorkers, as Deep Patel comes in. And Psych will go again. 3 runs is the fewest they had since that wicket maiden by Dhruv Pawar all the way back in the 4th. And they've really accelerated the run rate. It is over a run a ball at 6, just over 6.5. This one is smashed, but it is. Did he get that? No, it got all the way behind him. It was hit pretty well. And a great effort by the fielder who fell forward. And Dinesh almost making a fabulous diving forward catch. Let's see it. Oof. Just got his hands to it, it appeared. And back to live action. They'll take 1 and take 2 easily. So 2 more off of Deep Patel, 96 for 2. So Dinesh Patel, who we thought was injured, is fine. There was, as you can see, he made a great effort. And cut away through the field. Again, another chase towards the rope. And he, I think he helped it. He helped it over the rope. I think he was one of those weird ice cream scoop attempts. It was, listen, A for effort, but in a bizarre fashion, that's how they'll bring up the 100. We see it here again. And all you're trying to do, because remember, if you are in possession of the ball, once you step over the boundary, it essentially is a 4. And a fantastic effort there by the youngster. And that one is driven to the offside. And again, another 4. So back-to-back. In fact, it's gone for 6. Things are happening thick and fast here at Mercer Park. That's another 6. And smacked. It was Adit Kappa who gave the supreme effort to try and keep the ball in the field of play. Cut away. And again, a chase is on, except it's going to be in short. The Mukamala just racking up the runs here all of a sudden. We said that he looked hitterish. 44 now off of 37. The run rate really has accelerated now. They're on to 7.2. As Thurton opens up. And it is stopped, and he's not able to get a run. But a great over batting by Mukamala. 15 more added to the total. 14 of actually them all as Deep Patel starts. Here is a look at the bowling. As you can see, Dhruv Purwar right now, the only wicket taker. There was the one run out. 1 for 20. But you see those numbers scattered. Derek Narayan, expensive in his 1 over. Dhruv Purwar ends up giving up 5 and over, doing well. Adit Kappa had a good first over, but gave up 10 in his second. And the current partnership now up to 43 runs, thanks to that pretty explosive over. So 5 to go. Be interesting to see. Manoj Acharya is going to bowl 2 more. Yasser Muhammad will bowl 1. I imagine Preet Shah will probably bowl 1 of those as well. Maybe even both. So the Yorkers, of course, electing to take the ball first after winning the toss. And it will be the youngster Adit Kappa, who had an all-out sprint. Now he comes in and has to bowl this 16th over, and he does so from the Edinburgh Road end. And Mukamala, who now is the top scorer after Dominique Ricci was run out on 40. Well, he joint. Sorry, they were both run out on 44. And he smacks one on the offside. A quick peg at the stumps prevents Mukamala from advancing the score. Good job by the fielder. They're still working on Dinesh, the fielder, who looked like he did his hamstring going after the ball a couple of overs ago. He hasn't moved. Mukamala, meanwhile, just got a feather, goes behind Chattapalliam, went for the underhand at Arya Garg. But they get the run, and now Mukamala goes to 45. Kappa gave up 2 runs in his first over. They were both wides. Down the ground from Thurton. Well, there's a fielder straight on, and they limit it to a run. We'll see if they change now with Mukamala. They have nobody at fine leg or at third man. Defensive shot pops in the air, no run. 1 ball to come for Adit Kappa. And again, an off spin, and again, Mukamala not able to find the handle. And that'll do it for this 16th over. Good job by Kappa. 2, 10, and 2 are his 3 overs, and after 16, the New Jersey Stallions, having been sent in the batter, 109 for 2. We're keeping an eye on, as we said, we're keeping an eye on the other game going on in the Eastern Division right now. The New England Eagles are 15 for 2 after 4.5 overs of the 17-over match against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. That game going on at Glenville Oval in New York, as Manoj Acharya, as predicted, coming in to bowl here in the depth. Giving up 9 runs off of his 2 overs so far. The Philadelphias will play the New York City Titans. That's a 2:30 start. Imagine one or perhaps both of the Chai Bar boys are up there commentating that match. as a length delivery was sent, and it will go all the way for 4. So Christian Thurton showing his power and his strength, laces one for a boundary as he goes to 14. A good, powerful shot. And the name of the game is hit it where they ain't, and he found the gap between the two fielders in that long off region. Turn to the onside. And another one. 4 more back-to-back boundaries for Christian Thurton. Lasimart is open for business. 117 for 2 now as Thurton now on 18. Stepped out in front of the wicket. Turned out one on a dime. And again, looks like there's plenty of room in that infield, though, on the onside for him. We only have one player. Looks like went for it. So he's gone. This time he's caught playing across the wicket. And umpire Ritesh Patel hesitated for a second while he mulled it over, but gave him out. Amanujacharya has a wicket as Christian Thurton has to go for 18. Absolutely plumb. Absolutely plumb. And he asked 3 times, how was that? How was that? And finally, the finger of death, in the metaphorical sense, sends Christian Micah Ronaldo Thurton on his way back to the dugout. A good innings for him. 18 from 14, 3 fours, and a partnership that went for 53 runs, which now is the longest partnership or the biggest partnership so far. And when you can have 2 partnerships of 50 or more, that's pretty good. And we will see Ramanveer Dhaliwal will come in at number 5. And Dhaliwal also making his debut for New Jersey Stallions. So Amanujacharya, who is a man who can give up the occasional boundary, but also knows how to come back, the veteran. As I said, he's played every season, I think, bar 1 for the Manhattan Yorkers, and one that he was away. He played for the New Jersey Stallions. That was in 2023. Dhaliwal stands in from the left side and feathers that one that goes all the way to third man. Stopped. And 2 to start. So Dhaliwal gets a couple, 2 more to come. Full toss to the offside, not far enough to score. So for Dhaliwal, they've got 2 men square. And they don't have anybody in the slips. They have now placed somebody at third man, just in case. Good ball, but it's wide. It did keep low, but it is a wide ball as signaled by Ritesh Patel. So 1 more ball still to be delivered. And the Stallions, who a while ago were looking at a pace of around 120, are now at 142. And we said, I think, a score of 140, 150 would be good. They're now heading in that direction. drubbed into the ground. I think he may have disturbed a family of gophers on the way through. So maybe a divot or two in the pitch, I don't know, but a lot of dust came up as they come through for a run. And Dhaliwal, who now is on 3 off of 3, will retain the strike. At the end of 17, the New Jersey Stallions are 127 for 3. Here it is again. Yep, he took a pretty silent. You know, like when you badly scuff a golf shot. That's kind of what that reminded me of, and we could see it from our commentary position. It was like, ooh, yeah, it looked like there were some dust bunnies or something running through. Adit Kappa will finish his spell. He's bowled well. As we said, gave up just 2 wides in his first over, and then was lit up for 10, but has come back bowling well for 2. And he will bowl from the Edinburgh Road end here at Mercer County Park. This is the main ground. It's always been signed as field number 4. Most of the matches have been played here. Defensive shot by Dhaliwal, but it's going to be close. Nope. Good throw would have gotten him, and Janapaliam could not handle the inbound throw cleanly. It would have been close had he had. But now here's Mukamala on a day where he, as we've mentioned before, he needed 11 runs to clear the 1,000-run hurdle in minor league cricket. He became the 26th player to do so, and now he is 5 away from a half century. Tried to go with the reverse sweep, but came up with nothing but atmosphere on that one. I like the way Kappa's bowled here. He is, at 1 over a side, and I don't even think he's bowled badly in that 1 over. But he is taken downtown. There's a man there. It's over his head. And it is a 6, and that is a great way to bring up a half century. His 7th 50, Mukamala, is having a day out here. It is smacked and smacked with authority. And one of a handful of players who have played their entire career here is this one has popped up in the air, dropped in front. They tried to come back in as 3 Yorkers converged. Chattapalliam was out there. And Mukamala stays alive. He's on the 52 now. That one, you figure that's one of those strange. That's one of those strange occurrences. A lot of times you see a player hit a 6 or achieve a milestone and they get out on the next ball. Well, Mukamala avoided that, and then Dhaliwal defends, and it's a dot ball. And Kappa's given up 8 runs in this over, and his final ball of the morning is en route. Cut away, and everybody was playing in close. This is going to be awfully close. And in fact has gone over the boundary for 4. And that'll do it as Dhaliwal gets his first boundary and goes to 8. The New Jersey Stallions are 133 for 3 as Kappa gives up 12 runs in his last over. Said he hasn't bowled badly. The numbers won't reflect that. None for 26. Well, a good opening spell for the youngster in minor league cricket. Appears Manoj Acharya will finish his spell in the 19th as he takes the ball and marches towards us here on the dog park end. You see the numbers for Mukamala. 52 from 45. He had a slow start, but he really galloped quickly. Big swing, no ding. Good ball from Manoj Acharya. It was 1 from 21. He always seems like he is on top of things. He is I think he's a prototypical captain. And definitely one of the most respected figures in minor league cricket. And he's a man who I know has been around for some time. They know him well. They bringing in a player at deep point. Smashed! No doubt about that one. That's out near the car park. Mukamala is a demolition man. That was hit. And you could tell off the bat. That even felt good over here. And he rockets on the 58. Boom. That was a Schwarbomb. Oh. Fuller toss, and again hit with authority. And another boundary. Another 4 runs for Mukamala, who is having a day. He's on to 62. And Manoj Acharya, as we said, he's been bowling relatively tightly. Well, he's just given up 10 runs. His season high, or his career high in minor league cricket, 92, and that came on opening weekend. He golfs this one down the ground, and it's gone for 6 more. 6-4-6 off the last 3 balls for Mukamala, who now goes on to 69. He says, listen, if I'm going to get to a milestone, I'm going to really get to a milestone. And that is, I believe, his second highest score. This time he goes the opposite way. And he won't go all the way. It's fielded in front. He's going to go quickly and get a second. And 2 more for Mukamala, who says, I am fit as a fiddle and can do all the scoring. He has added another 18 runs. And he now is on 70. The New Jersey Stallions at 151 for 3. As that brings up their 150. The question is, he's out towards us. And that, too, is smashed. It's a maximum. 3 6s and a 4 in the over for Mukamala. 24 runs all off of that one piece of willow wielded by that man. He is on to 76, and he'll be at the non-striker's end to start the 20th. I wonder how long that'll last. 157 for 3 for the New Jersey Stallions. So here is a look at what we just witnessed. This was the first 6. This was a no-doubter just over his head. Then he decides to come to the onside and send that one out towards the car park. Aryagar giving chase in vain. He says, I can hit it left, I can hit it right, I can hit it down the ground. That was the 6, the 4, there was the 6. Here's another one. Straight down the ground, 6-4, 6-6. And not only can he hit him far, he can hit it to all ends. Preet Shah will bowl the 20th. And it's cut away by Dhaliwal. And it was a peg at the stumps. Did he get him in time? I think he did. As Dhaliwal is walking back, it'll be a run out. Or it'll be close to it. So there is a run out as Dhaliwal wandered too far away trying to get Mukamala back on strike. It's the second run out of the innings. As we see it again, too far away and in a perfect peg that took the bail. And Dhaliwal's innings comes to an unceremonious end for him. And they are 157 for 4, and now Jesse Singh will make a cameo here in the 20th over as 40 runs came off that final partnership, off that last partnership, I should say. And of those 40, 31 came off the bat of Sai Mukamala. So since he came in after Akshay Hamraj was dismissed in the power play, he had 12 in his partnership with Dominique Ricci, which went for 50. He had 33 in his partnership with Christian Thurton. That went for 53. And then 31 in the partnership with Dhaliwal, which went for a total of 40. And Mukamala is now on strike. 76 runs for him, and they've mostly, as we said, they have come outside of the power play. When really the acceleration came after the power play, after they were held to just 25 runs in the power play. They were 25 for 1 after 6. 48 runs in the last 3 overs, and 36 of them by Acharya. Mukamala trying to go downtown again. And he does. Another 6. Ho-hum. He's up to 82. His 8th maximum. Whew. Well, we were saying, is this going to be the same old story at Mercer Park with low scores from a couple of years ago? And Sai Mukamala said, I came here to party, and y'all are invited. And again, he goes down the ground. This time there's a catch opportunity, and it's taken. And that is it. And that will do it for Sai Mukamala as he tried again to drive this one and was almost in the same spot that he tried to drive the last one. And it is Manoj Acharya who saw his world rocked by Sai, and now he has a hand in his innings coming to an end. 82 is the final score off of 54 balls, 3 4s, and 8 6s. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they are 163 for 5. It is Anirudh Emanuel who scored the winning runs 2 weeks ago on Labor Day against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. who will be in with his captain, Jesse Singh. And Preet Shah is now, he has taken, that was his first wicket. He has been, has his hand in 2 in this over. And Emmanuel drives down the ground, and that one will go for a boundary. That's 4 more to the total. 167 for 5. Anirudh Emmanuel, he's a darn good bowler. He's good with the spin, but I'll tell you what, he's no slouch with the bat either. And he will face the final ball of this innings, an innings that for the New Jersey Stallions, it took a while to get going, but my goodness, when it did. And he cuts this one away to the offside. And he will just take 1. So Emmanuel adds 5 more off the final 2 balls. And this innings comes to an end. An explosive innings for the New Jersey Stallions. 168 for 5. And here it is again, as Dominique Ricci got himself run out when it looked like he was going to have the kind of day that Sai Mukamala had. And Mukamala, there's the story, 82 off of 54 with 8 sixes. And Akshay Hamraj didn't really play a role. He only allowed 2 runs. Christian Thurton had a decent hand, 18 from 14. And you see the bowling figures, not great, really. A lot of uneconomical, except for Drew Pawar, who was 1 for 20. Manoj Acharya was lit up for 45 runs. Preet Shah 1 for 28. Adi Kappa bowled well, as we said, had a couple of good overs in there. He was none for 26. Yasir Muhammad, none for 20 from his 3. Derek Moran and Deep Patel, not really much help in their lone overs. And 9 extras to the total. 168 for 5. 3 really good partnerships put on by the Stallions have staked them to a target of 169. And that is the story here. The Manhattan Yorkers require 169 at a run rate of 8.5 if they want to avoid dropping their 6th of the season. The New Jersey Stallions are trying to stay undefeated. We'll have the run chase for you in a roughly 15 minutes time. We hope you'll rejoin us. You're watching the 2025 Minor League Cricket Championship here on the MLC Network.
Whoever you are, on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
And welcome back to Mercer County Park here in West Windsor Township, New Jersey. We're set for the run chase as the Manhattan Yorkers trying to chase down 169 runs to perhaps snatch victory from the New Jersey Stallions, who are looking to remain unbeaten here in this fifth minor league cricket campaign. Brian Barish back here with you. Glad to have you along. Should be an interesting run chase. Mukamala's 82 has put up a perhaps above par score of 168 for 5, and now it'll be the Yorkers' turn, but they will have a very, very difficult task ahead of them. Jesse Singh, the captain, will start proceedings from the dog park end, and the Manhattan Yorkers, who are adept and capable, will have to put up a big score on this pitch, and we are underway. On that one, catches him on the pads. It is Pranav Chattopadhyay, who's had his troubles this season, who is out there in the middle alongside Dinesh Patel. And it is a leg by to get them off the mark. The required run rate coming in was a 8.3. And for Pranav, who was actually dropped down in the order, they're giving him another chance here in the opening pair. Usually in previous seasons we've seen Stephen Wiggs start the bowling for New Jersey, but so far it's been Jesse who has been starting things off. Chattopadhyay this season has 41 runs in the previous 6 matches and has not broken 20. And this time he pulls this one to the onside. The fielder will come all the way there and zing it back in. We mentioned Chattopadhyay's struggles, but he gets off the mark with a couple. The key, I think, for Manhattan will be to take advantage of the power play, and we say that even though the Stallions put up that monster score, relatively speaking, having scored just 25 runs in their own power play. They were 25 for 1 after 6. That one sails by wide. And Jesse Singh taking a similar tact to, or I guess the opposite tact to what his opposite number, Manoj Acharya, was doing when he was bowling. And that would, whereas Acharya was bowling the Stallions more towards leg stump and on the leg side tram lines. He's been trying to keep away more towards 4th and 5th stump, but on that occasion was too far wide. Cut away nicely to the offside. And through for 4. So Pranav Chattopadhyay gets his first boundary. And perhaps that will give him a little bit of confidence. He has done well to come back after going through the first weekend. You see the ball sailing through 3, 4, and 2 in his first 3 appearances. He was dropped down in the order and he scored 15 runs. And then last week in the second game against the Philadelphians put up 17, and he takes a single here. The 1 ball still to come. Ramavir Dhaliwal has the gloves for New Jersey. A wide open, deep outfield on the offside if he wants to go in that direction. Does Dinesh Patel, and he cuts it away, and it is stopped. And that ends the over. Good over to start for the Manhattan Yorkers. They're chasing down a target of 169. They are at 9 without loss.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Well, there you can see how the New Jersey Stallions batted, those blue Manhattan bars, and you can see the damage coming, especially in the last 6 overs, thanks primarily to Mukamala, including 24 runs in that 19th over where he had 3 6s and a 4. And which you could also see on the left there that there wasn't much of a start to that innings, as Akshay Hamraj got out early on for just 2 runs. Got out in the 3rd over. As Matani comes in from the Edinburgh road end. And Chanapaliam can just drop it into the ground. No run. Siddharth Matani, another veteran. Once again, he tried to play that one away, but stopped again at deep point. Was Rushik Patel. Did good to come across and stop. Cut away, but again, stopped in the infield. Was Christian Thurton, who is also a wicketkeeper, but he's not. He is not behind the stumps today. Big swing this time by Chanapaliam. So good over by Matani to help stem things a bit. We'll probably see these two to start. Good combination of pace and spin, and that one may have gone off the gloves of Pranav Chanapaliam. And it looks like it did find the bat, so he'll get credit for a run. 10 for none. See Dinesh Patel. And Dinesh has done extremely well here. He's coming off of, in the second game against the Philadelphians, a 60, which is the second highest score in minor league cricket. In 2023, 2022, he had a top score of 86. 745 runs in his minor league cricket career. And he went to wind up, but instead dabbed this one down to the offside, and that ends the over. Good over by Siddharth Matani, who limits the Yorkers to just 1 run at the end of 2. Manhattan 10 for none.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Jesse Singh continues from the dog park end. On this absolutely beautiful, sunshiny Saturday. And as we said, these two teams will be back in action tomorrow right here at Mercer County Park. If you're in the area, we invite you to join us. And if you don't have any plans, we invite you to join us as well. Perhaps put us in the background. Put the sound on in the background, perhaps. And the American International will come in the bowl. And just got an under edge, which will get a run as it rolls through to point. So a single. And Dinesh Patel is off the mark. Check that was Chetapalliam, who now goes to 9. Dinesh Patel now coming to strike. Jesse Singh, this is a 42nd match in minor league cricket. Had a 3-fer. Those are all of his wickets so far. And he came in one match, and he shows really his brilliance, his overall cricketing mind, not only with his captaincy of a team that has been one of the most consistent, definitely the most consistent in this division. And this one is chipped down the ground and stopped by Sai Mukamala, prevent further damage. So another single, and this time Dinesh Patel is now off the mark, 12 for none. And we'll keep an eye on the run rate, which has gone up slightly. But as we've seen, it is possible for a team to not make a large impact in the power play, but yet come and put on a sizable score. You see 43 wickets in 42 matches so far for the big man. Turned off the pads, and another run will come through. Resident of Queens, New York. Has been on the national team for 10 years. Cut away. And they did have somebody at deep square to stop a 4, but they'll come back and take 2. So 15 for none. And 2 balls left. He's played in he was a member of the in the Caribbean Premier League. Was on the roster for the Guyana Amazon Warriors. And Yorker length delivery tapped into the ground by Dinesh Patel. So 16 for none.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Final ball to third over. Jesse Singh was bowled consistently. And that one in on his hips, given as a wide, gets by the fielder and has gone all the way for 4 runs. So 5 wides given up by Jesse Singh, just as we've said that he generally bowls. You kind of know what you're going to get from him. In this occasion, it all comes unglued on that for that one ball. The Manhattan Yorkers, who we said this was going to need to take a pretty strong effort from them to chase down such a total. It helps when you get some help from the bowling side. And worked to the offside. A good stop made, however. Well, that prevents any more runs from being taken. Not a great over for Jesse Singh. 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 runs off of it. Halfway through the power play, Manhattan, they're chasing 169. They're 21 without loss.
Whoever you are, on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Siddharth Matani will continue from the Edinburgh Road end after a good over where he allowed just one run. And Dinesh Patel stands in the face from the right side. And he drives Matani down the ground. And it's a 4. And Dinesh Patel gets his first boundary. He joins the party. And it was a good ball. Good delivery, but for somebody like Dinesh Patel, who's put on the sort of numbers he has, I mean, he wasn't going to make a meal of that one. So the Yorkers have reached the Stallions total in the power play in half the deliveries as Dinesh works this one to the onside, and there is a single. 26 for none. And we've seen the Manhattan Yorkers, especially in their early days and when they had made the playoffs in 2021, we've seen how good they could be at putting up runs and dealing especially with this particular bowling attack. Cutaway in the air, catches the call, catch is made. And just as we say that, they lose a wicket. And it is Chetapalliam who had 2 strong performances after struggling from the opening spot. But he does not get out of double figures. He's gone for 9. And the Yorkers are 26 for 1. It was a half-hearted swing as he was trying to cut it away. But it's Anirudh Emanuel. Cool as you like. It was an atom ball. And the celebration from Siddharth Matani, who takes his first wicket of the day. So Chetapalliam, 9 from 13 with the 1-4. And they are 26 for 1. Well, they are keeping pace with a run rate. But now we will see Derek Narine. Narine, a man who, he can score. He is definitely, it's amazing to me, or at least, just kind of thinking about it, perhaps why they haven't gone with Narine as their opener alongside Dinesh Patel. I know you want to keep some firepower down low, but Chetapalliam has shown that he can bat lower in the order, so maybe perhaps that might be some food for thought down the line. But what do I know? So Narine comes in. Of course, a long time with the Philadelphians. And last season played with the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. So now both teams have lost 1 wicket in the power play. And Narine tried to dab at that. And Ball didn't go terribly far. Jesse Singh is in as a slip for Narine. They've got they've got one man at backward point. And they were expecting him to do what he did, which is to play the ball to the offside, and they were still able to take a run from it. So now the fielders scatter as the final ball will come in to Dinesh Patel. So again, you can only allow 2 players in the power play outside of the 35-yard circle. They do have 1 player deep in the onside, and he says, I'll just part the Red Sea and go down the middle. The fielder does a great somersault job to keep the ball from going over the boundary, and it manages to save a couple of runs in the process. 2, in fact, as Patel finishes the over on 11. The Manhattan Yorkers are 29 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Well, the guy who many people, I guess, if you've watched the New Jersey Stallions over the years, sometimes he's been considered their number 1 pace bowler, but he and Jesse Singh have traded that back and forth. It's Stephen Wigg, who will bowl from the dog park end. And just trying to push that one away was Derek Narine, but it goes through. And Stephen Wigg. And the one thing we've mentioned, the Yorkers, their fortunes really have changed in this matchup. The 2 split their first 2 matches before the Yorkers won 3 in a row in 2022 and the first game in 2023. The Stallions have won the last 2 between, but this attack really hasn't changed. Worked away to the offside. Wigg tries to do that weird backward scoop thing, and the Yorkers, I don't know, were paying attention. The Stallions were throwing the ball all over the place, and I think the Yorkers were content to take the 1. But I think if they would have had their tails up, would have been very close to getting a second. The Yorkers, I know, they had their issues in the field. The Stallions generally are pretty clean. They're a team that's won 3 division titles, 2021, 2022. Beg your pardon, they've only won twice. They were tied last year for the title, but for the Eastern title, but the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers had a superior run rate, and the Philadelphians won in 2023, but they are looking the goods here in 2025. And we've got 2 games against this Yorkers team, and the Yorkers, as we said, they haven't played badly, but it just hasn't been their season so far. They're trying to turn their fortunes around, and so too is Dinesh Patel, who will add another single. 31 for 1. Good bowling by Stephen Wigg. Turns 27 in 2 weeks. Plays the Texas Super Kings in Major League Cricket. And this one is driven straight down, just a little bit catty corner of the offside, but was a little aerial and drops in front of the boundary. So 2 more. They go to 33 for 1, as you see Stephen Wigg, his 51st match, 65 wickets. He's up there with Acharya. And worked away once again. Went down the ground, did Derek Narine, but he turned around and came back. That's the one thing we see. There's a lot of really good bowlers in this eastern region, in this eastern division. We've seen two of them here, and a couple of them here. Of course, that one is bopped just down the ground, eluded everybody, eluded the wicket, eluded Wigg, and got by Dinesh Patel as well. But Stephen Wigg gives up just 5 runs in his first over, 5 complete. The Manhattan Yorkers, they need another 135 to win. Right now, they're 34 for 1.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
So the final over of this power play will be bowled by Patel. It is Rushik Patel, and he will bowl from the Edinburgh Road end. So the combination of quick bowlers from the dog park end and spin, as that one was a little aerial but pushed towards mid-off. And they'll take a single. Derek Narine is on to 6, 35 for 1. Now, we talked about all the bowlers in this particular division, and there's a couple that have played a long time in the division, but there's a couple that are new. Of course, you think of Cornet Dry, who now is playing for the Philadelphians after playing 4 seasons in Atlanta for the Fire. Well, that one is cut away to the offside. But again, the field right there. It is Stephen Wigg. Wiggy, good hands. Went down again, and he was trying to take Dinesh downtown on the express, but the ball said we're taking a detour right into the gloves of the keeper. Patel coming out bowling well. So Cornet Dry currently sitting third. Acharya now with 67 wickets is in 7th. Good. Look for the stumping. And he's got it. And that is the end of Dinesh Patel, who goes for a run of ball, 12 from 13. And the Yorkers have lost their 2nd wicket. And Patel has picked up his 1st. Here it is again, and he stepped forward, you can see, with his back leg, and he walked forward, perhaps momentum carrying forward, whatever the reason. He strayed too far, and an alert play by Ramavir Dhaliwal behind the stumps to claim the wicket. So Patel goes for 12. Dinesh Patel goes for 12, bowled by Rushik Rajendra Patel. 35 for 2. And now it's Devanesh Sheth. Chet's first season with the Manhattan Yorkers. Scored a total of 45 runs, including 35 in the first game against the Philadelphians. And he has to defend one in on leg stump. And bowling by Rushik Patel. We had a 3-fer back on August 30th. They've added a second slip in now as Thurton was in with Jesse Patel, but it eludes them, and that ends the over. They get another wicket to the Stallions. Rushik Patel picks up his first. He's 1 for 1. At the end of the power play, the Manhattan Yorkers 35 for 2.
Whoever you are on the field, the dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
Anirudh Emanuel, the longtime Philadelphian, will take the ball. Anirudh, a spinner par excellence, a good young talent. And Derek Narine will face the first ball. The Yorkers 10 runs ahead of where the Stallions were at the end of the power play as Narine goes for a swipe and comes up with nothing. At the end of 6, they were the Stallions were 25 for 1. At the end of this over, they were 35 for 1, so they're even on runs, and now they'll come through and take a couple more as that one was driven away. So Narine now goes to 8. The Yorkers on 35 for 7. But it really was right about here that the acceleration began. The Stallions did get 9 in the 6th off of Preet Shah. And then 10 off of Kappa, and then that's when the onslaught began. And then Mukamala. Remember that he brought his hitting stick with him. Well, Anirudh. Now this one is turned to the onside. One hop and just stayed in the field of play. It wasn't a clean get, but it was a stop nonetheless. And they prevent any more runs from being taken. That's the most important part. There's a couple of these guys who are spinners who come in at this like 45-degree angle, it seems. I know Sardbeat Lada is one of them, and he's obviously the best at it. As he cuts this one away, it's stopped in the infield, but they come through for another run. The run rate is a little less than a run a ball, and the asking rate is close to 10. The par score is 50. That, I think, is the most indicative in terms of where the teams are at the moment. Because as we said, the acceleration did come later in the innings. Went again for a cut shot, but safely into the gloves of Dhaliwal. 1 ball to come. And Anirudh Emanuel with a good first over so far. It's a defensive shot, and Anirudh tries to play it with one hand and ends up with another dot to end the over. He gives up just 4 at the end of 7. The Manhattan Yorkers chasing 169 are 39 for 2. Here's a look at where the teams started, and you can see the worm rising higher and higher as the game went on. So they are in front of where they are right now, which is one thing, but the question that it's almost like a race. If you think about a marathon or a long distance race, it's one thing to keep pace, but you have to know when to accelerate. And the time is coming soon. For the boys in blue. Rushik Patel continues, and another stumping attempt by Dhaliwal. But Devin Ashet's foot was still in the crease. Not a ton of games happening across minor league cricket this weekend. Round number 3. We can't believe the season's half over already. A lot of games this weekend. Of course, we'll have one more tomorrow between these two teams. Fuller ball by Sheth, and he drives it down the ground. They'll take an easy single. And we talk about foundations in cricket, and if you build yourself up a good innings, then you can afford to play pretty much however you like, either offensively or defensively. Well, the Stallions at this point can afford to go run a ball, but again, still plenty of time. And that one is cut away through the offside. It's going to be a boundary. Just waiting for the signal. And it's 6. Says Mahir Patel. That one cut through the air with some authority. And the Yorkers get a much-needed maximum. Finally, their first off the bat of Derek Narine. They're on the 46. That'll help the run rate. Again, was sitting on a short ball. This time he tucks this one to the onside. Stopped there at the deep. And Narine comes through for another 2. So 48 for 2, and Derek Narine starting to have some rumblings here. They said they needed to accelerate soon. And Narine looks like he's going to do it. They've changed that now to a 1. Thought they did, as they look for it, and he's got it. It looks like it was caught, and he is gone, is Sheth. And Rushik Patel has his second wicket. And Dhaliwal has his second wicket involvement as it was snicked into his gloves. Here it is again. Pitched away. And yup, just feathered into the glove of Ramavir Dhaliwal. And the Yorkers now 47 for 3. And Deep Patel will come out to bat with Derek Narine as he comes in at number 5. And so Rushik Rajendra Patel now with 11 wickets in his minor league cricket career. Should actually be 12, but so far in this season, he has been a key part, as this is his 7th wicket of the season. And his best figures, 3 for 36. And that was back in that game on August 30th. Deep Patel hits from the right side. Final ball of the 8th over. And he cuts it away deep into the ground. Went towards the non-striker's end, and he'll keep the strike, will Deep Patel. An adventurous over for Rushik Patel. He gave up a 6, gives up 9 off it total, but he does take a wicket. And at the end of 8, Manhattan Yorkers need 121 off the final 12. They're 48 for 3. See the two men in the middle, Deep Patel, who's played a good hand so far, and he's known for a good support role. And he's played his entire career, last 2 seasons with the Manhattan Yorkers. His top score is 46, which came last season. So far, his top score is only 18, as Anirudh Emmanuel continues from the dog park end and gives up a single to Deep Patel. They are still bang on a run a ball, and the run rate now over 10, the required rate now over 10. And just kind of one looked at this task and thought it was going to be a very difficult one. The Yorkers are keeping in touch for a while, but they're starting to slip away. Goes for the sweep. Emmanuel with the appeal, but no dice. And umpire Ritesh Patel signaling leg byes. Leg byes it shall be. And that brings up the 50 for the Manhattan Yorkers. It comes after 8.2 overs. And the Stallions got theirs at about the same time. So we look at the field. Long on, long off. Square. And hits this one towards the long on boundary, but it stopped before it could get there. In fact, stopped at mid on. 51 for 3. As a single engine plane comes over. Not terribly far from Trenton Airport's somewhat nearby. I think for a map nerd like myself, I would know the locations of the airports around here. One more ball to come. Anirudh Emmanuel, another good over from him so far. He's given up just 6 runs. Oh, big swing, no ding from Derek Narayan. And Emmanuel's command is in command. He gives up just 3 runs. The Yorkers 51 for 3 after 9. And they're chasing down a total of 169. We take a look. We've been keeping an eye on the other game in this division that's happening so far up in Glenville, New York. It's the New England Eagles, who were 87 for 9 in their 17-over game against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, and the Cavs 23 without loss in reply. The Cavs trying to keep pace with both the Stallions and the surprising New York City Titans. So we see Sachin Mailavarapu in. We talk about great bowlers, and Sachin is definitely up there. He is number 9. He has 65 wickets, tied with Stephen Wigg for 8th place. Steve Patel dives it down. Shurav Netravalkar and Stephen Wigg alongside Sachin in a three-way tie with 65, taken all time. He's 2 behind Manoj Acharya, who is now on 67 as Deep Patel tries to play this one away, but again, right into the infield. Yeah, they're looking for it. Nope, not on this occasion. I think Deep Patel was saying that he missed it. But there was a loud appeal. Cuts this one away, but again, right to a fielder. They've got 3 men on the offside waiting. They have 1 in the deep as well. They have a long on and a long off, and this time he goes for the reverse again, looking for perhaps an LBW, but Sachin Mailavarapu has really stemmed the tide here. Just as we said, the Yorkers need an acceleration. The roadblock has been thrown up. This one is chipped in the air, catches the call, but there was nobody within about 10 yards of the ball. They'll come back for 2 and get it easily. In fact, they'll just keep the 1. It looked like they were going for a second, but Deep Patel will keep the strike. And at the end of 10, we head to the drinks break. The Manhattan Yorkers need 117 runs from their final 60 balls.
whoever you are on the field. The dream is what drives us. Gear up for your dreams. Shop now at dreamcricketstore.com.
And we're back for the final 10 overs or so of this run chase as the Manhattan Yorkers needing 117 runs from the final 60 balls for victory. Brian Barish back here with you. And our intrepid production team led by Mo here on site. That one is turned to the onside as Derek Narine, a rather Deep Patel, takes a single off of Anirudh Emanuel, who has allowed just is a half a run of ball. We have fielders once again on the long on and off boundaries, and that one ends up going to point when they run through for another single, as again they were playing for the long drive, but they had a couple of slips in. They only have the one. Jesse Singh now playing at the slip position. And if you're new to cricket, they call it that because essentially hoping the batter will slip up. That should be a wide ball, and it is. As Anirudh going for the leg stump and missed. If the Stallions can hang on to this victory, they will, for the moment, have a game-and-a-half lead over the Titans. As this one is whacked, it is stopped. As Dominique Ricci in his famous red floppy hat makes the stop. .55 for 3. Full toss driven down the ground. Will come in for one. As Stephen Wigg, who was stationed in that long on position. And Mukamala, one bowler and one bowler in the making, it seems like. And Emanuel sees that one go wide. It goes off of the wicketkeeper's leg and ricochets away. Well, I imagine. Well, it looks like I thought it had ricocheted off his leg. He may have actually got a piece of that. In fact, it did. It did ricochet off his leg, but not before Derek Narine got some of the wood on it. Final ball of the over is stroked down the ground, but again stopped by Dominique Ricci. So another good over from Anirudh Emanuel, who has surrendered just 11 runs. And the Manhattan Yorkers still a long, long way from home. 112 required off the final 54. It's more than 2 runs a ball. They're 57 for 3. So one of the things that I keep track of is when I look at this, because the number of games played by the different teams, as Milo Varapu, who gave up 1 run in that last over, will continue, is I look at the table by points percentage as you look inside the dugout. Milo Varapu will continue. Big swing. I don't know if there was any contact made, but that's going to go all the way to the rope. Yes. It goes all the way for 4. And they will be given as 4 byes as they missed everything on the way through and took a long, long journey down to the rope. And I'll tell you what, it took its last dying breath over the rope. When we talked about how the Stallions don't need to add any complications to this shutting down of the run chase, they now have allowed 14 extras. Turn to the onside. Is it caught? It doesn't appear to have been. Once again, Stephen Wigg coming up. In fact, the way he acted, it didn't look like he did, but Derek Narayan is walking back, and that, in fact, is a catch by Stephen Wigg, who came around, and the way he was reacting, folks, it looked, he just kind of just hurled it in, but that was an amazing, amazing catch. And that is the end of Derek Narayan, and they're 61 for 4. We're going to look at it again. And just makes the catch going down to his right. And he came up with it. That is a fantastic effort by Stephen Wigg. And Sachin Mailavarapu has his 66th wicket in minor league cricket. And he now goes into 8th place ahead of Shurav Netravalkar. And for Stephen Wigg, who has taken a few wickets in his time and who also has taken a couple of catches in his time, that is a huge, huge wicket. And now Yasir Muhammad, and now a daunting task is starting to look like Mount Everest here. And the run rate at 12.5 when you're barely getting a run of ball. But if anybody who could put a little bit of a spin on this, you would think it would be Yasir Muhammad, who comes in alongside Deep Patel. The Yorkers really haven't been able to establish a partnership in the same way that the Stallions were in their innings. In fact, 50, 53, and 40, those three partnerships, as and this one is smacked in the air, catches the call. And it was landed short, and they've come through. Mailavarapu, those 4 byes aside, which, by the way, don't count towards his total, is 1 for 2 after 10 balls. $62 for 4. 2 more balls to come. And Jesse Singh still in that slip position. And in the air again, catches the call, but it's a looping humpback liner. Another single for Deep Patel. And again, this is the catch by Stephen Wigg. Or this wasn't the catch, my apologies. That was the ball that we just saw there. Wigg taking the catch earlier. He almost had 2. Final ball of the over. Right on through. Looks like it did catch an inside edge. Or did it? No. Another bye. 5 byes total. And Mailavarapu, despite 7 runs in that over, only 2 will get charged against him. He did, however, get the wicket of Derek Narayan, and the Yorkers 64 for 4, and they need 105 runs in the final 48 balls. Well, they are some 32 runs behind the par score. And here is a look. We showed you the worm chart earlier, and you saw where they were. They were ahead of where the Yorkers, or rather the Stallions, at the 8th over when they lost that 3rd wicket. But as you can see, they have not done the acceleration bit that the Stallions did to get to their final score. And the question has to be asked, where are those runs going to come from? Deep Patel and Yasir Muhammad are definitely capable But this is a very good bowling attack. But here comes at least one run. I heard a 4-letter word, I believe, coming from the middle of the ground as Siddharth Matani, who was 1 for 10. At least I think that's what it was. It could have been something else. I heard it. I don't know that you heard it at home. But whatever it was, somebody was not happy. Matani's bowled well, and I see him coming in later. And again, a good ball. He has given up just 10 runs, and Jesse Singh has given up 18 in his 2, but everybody else, by and large, pretty economical as this one is driven down. Wig comes charging in to try and assist, and he does after a single. But again, when you are, when your required run rate is now almost at 14, again, you are okay with a run of ball, and the Yorkers don't really have any answers. This one is driven back down the ground, and Mukamala comes around and zings it back in. Sai having a day. 82 runs when he was up to bat, and he crossed the 1,000-run plateau. And I'll tell you what, he is working his way up the ladder. As we said, he was the 26th man. This one, meanwhile, is hit, and this, too, is a 6. So Deep Patel gets his first maximum, and the Yorkers needed that. And they're going to need a couple of those straight down the ground. And he goes on the 14. Manhattan now 73 for 4. It was a frozen rope down the ground. And this time he's forced to play defensively as this one turns in. So a good comeback from Siddharth Matani, who gives up just 9 runs in the over. The end of 13, Manhattan 73 for 4. They need a 96 off the final 42. And in case you missed the first innings and are just joining us, Sai Mukamala, 82 runs off of 54. He hit 8 sixes in the process. And he was a part of three long partnerships, including 2 that were good for 50 runs. Mukamala now the division leader in runs with 232. Of course, we'll see Garanchu Sharma up in New York for the Titans playing against the Philadelphians later today. And we said Mukamala was the 26th player to get to 1,000 runs. He is now 21st all time, so he rocketed up quickly up the table. He really, really wanted that wicket, did Patel. And Rushik Patel, who has already taken 2 wickets, wanted a third badly. And Mahir Patel, who, as he always is, explaining with a smile. And that one a loopy ball, which is driven along the ground to the offside. And take a single. So Yasser Muhammad goes to 4, 74 for 4. And with every single, the required rate keeps drifting up. As now it is Siddharth Matani who is in as the slip. Again, drives down the ground. And again, a fielder is there. It looks like, I'll say it looks like Dominique Ricci, but I think Ricci is playing on the infield side. Another single, though, 75 for 4. Good bowling by Rushik Rajendra Patel. It has given up 12 runs in 2.5 overs. He's 2 for 12. And looking for the catch. It's skied in the air. He's over. He came forward. Did Wig take another catch? He did. As umpire Ritesh Patel gave the umpires out signal in baseball fashion, Stephen Wig has taken 2 fantastic catches today. And that is the end of Yasir Muhammad. Watch this. The first one was spectacular. He almost had a second one about an over ago. And this hung in the air, and he full splayed forward, makes the catch. And Stephen Wig doing it with his hands today. So Yasir Muhammad caught Wig, and Patel, Rushik Patel, now has a 3-fer. He's 3 for 12. And he still has 8 legal deliveries. His second 3-fer of the season. And his best figures were 3 for 36. So unless he really loses the plot, well, he should have a better mark than that. Karen Veshodia comes in at number 7 for the Yorkers, who I think we're in miraculous territory here, folks. Well, Veshodia, 41 runs off of 43 deliveries so far this season. And plays a defensive shot. And he hits this one in the air. Coming in again is Wig. He's got another one. Stephen Wig. Hands you can trust a baby with. That's his 3rd catch of the day. That is a 4-fer for Rushik Patel. And Manhattan is crumbling. They're 75 for 6. And that's the end of the 14th over. So that's the end for Karen Veshodia after 2 balls. It's a 2-ball duck. And again, Wig making the catch coming forward. It's all happening for him. Unbelievable. 94 required off of 36. And at this rate, it's more than 2.5 runs a ball. And it is Adit Kappa on debut, who will come out now, and we'll see what this young man can do with the bat. It's Stephen Wig. He has 14 catches, I believe, total. Well, that's 3 so far this season. What a day he's had. That's unbelievable. And he had 6 his first season in 17 games. Actually, he had 7 if you include the championship against Silicon Valley back in 2021. That is over an 18-game stretch. That is the ball just keeps finding him. And again, he almost had a 4th catch, too. Well, we're going to see Sai Mukamala come in and bowl. And Sai, as we said, not really known as a bowler. But, in fact, he bowled one spell 2 years ago in which he went 1 for 20. And this one, he is greeted with a 4. Just as we said, he has 6 wickets so far. But he gives up a 4 on his first ball. And this one was laced with a good offside cut shot. And rose up some dust in the process. And this time it was a little too close for comfort for Deep Patel. Mukamala 6 for 44 total this season and a 4 for 8 on opening day. Unbelievable. Big shout, and he's gone. And Deep Patel, who started to come halfway down, that was a long, long wait from Ritesh Patel. Another wicket goes, and Mukamala has his 8th career wicket, his 7th of the season. And for a team that already has a lot of really good bowlers, they have found perhaps another one. And the Stallions, I think, are just about home. 79 for 7 in the 15th over, and 90 off of 33 required. And they are deep into the tail now. So Deep Patel, LBW from Mukamala, 19 off of 23. He did have a 4 and a 6, and Preet Shah comes in at number 9. And he'll bat with Adit Kappa. Mukamala was used in 4 overs. He was used in the regular rotation in the first 2 matches of the season. And the last 2, he's only been used for 1. So I'll be interested to see, with the Stallions so far ahead, how well they use him or how much they decide to use him. He is the 7th bowler that the Stallions have used today. Stephen Wigg has only bowled 1. We'll probably see him again. You'll see Jesse Singh probably for 1 more over. Sachin Mailavarapu has only bowled 2. Anirudh Emanuel has bowled 1. Or has 1 to bowl, rather. He's bowled 3. Smacked down, and Dominique Ricci, just to our left, waits patiently. And
I think you should bowl this like next over.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking you should bowl an over too, but we're talking, of course, to Dominique Ricci, and that was Mohsen, our producer/cameraman, who was making that suggestion. I was sitting here thinking that, and I said, you know what, I don't want to say that out loud. I'm glad I wasn't the first one. Driven down by Mukamala as it goes right back to him. 1 ball remaining in this 15th over, and the Manhattan Yorkers 80 for 7. We said it would be very difficult. As this one is turned to the onside, they'll take a run. Will Adit Kappa, his first run in minor league cricket, and he will keep the strike as we head into the 16th over. 15 complete. The Manhattan Yorkers 81 for 7 as they need 88 runs off the final 30 balls. A reminder, we'll be back in action right here, 10:45 a.m., slightly later start. That's Eastern Daylight Time. And if you're in the Trenton, New Jersey, Philadelphia area, Central Jersey, Bucks County, PA, anywhere near the sound of my voice, I've come up all the way here from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. Nobody else has any excuse. But if you're in the area, come out and watch these two teams tangle again tomorrow, as the New Jersey Stallions trying to win their 3rd divisional title and also trying to make their 5th straight postseason appearance. Cut away, but right to Jesse Singh. As Rushik Rajendra Patel, 4 for 12. He would love a 5-fer. This is his best performance. And that one looped over the infield. And Mukamala, fresh off of taking a wicket, fields it in the deep. Campanelle on the 2. Preet Shah on the other end. And definitely into the bowling specialist for the Yorkers. See the field scrambling. They don't have a slip in this time. When they had the more recognized bowlers, they had a slip, but they're not expecting that. Rather, now they've put one in. It is Jesse Singh who's come in, and just past the blade of Preet Shah. Jesse Singh has been, generally speaking, he's been the man who has been in that position, and Siddharth Matani has also moonlighted in the slip position. Driven along the ground. They've got one. They're going to try for two, and they'll get there easily. So 2 runs added. .84 for 7. But the run rate now over 3 and over, and or 3 a ball rather, 19, actually almost 19 and a half runs. And the Stallions looking very, very good for going the 5-0. Good length delivery, tapped at by Preet Shah. One more ball to come. These two teams, we said, will play once again tomorrow, but then the Stallions will play 4 games next weekend. And went for that one once again, and again trying to guide it to the offside. There is no run, and that ends the over. And so for Rushik Patel, a great day for him. 4 for 15, 3 runs surrendered off that over at the end of 16. The Manhattan Yorkers, 84 for 7, a long, long way from their port in the storm. .85 required off of 24 is the formula, or equation if you prefer. And the par score, in case you're wondering, in chasing down 169 is 135. So there's some 51 runs behind that. And it appears, and I'll say this, the Stallions, I think, were always in a good position if they could have at least gotten to 125, 130, and we were saying a good score would be 150, but to put up 168, really, Mukamala doing fantastic as we see Dominique Ricci adjusting his footwear. He's been wearing that out. He's been doing a lot of running today, and that is clean bowled by Anirudh Emanuel. He gets a wicket. Why not? He's earned it. And Adit Kappa is sent back to the dugout. And the bells are tolling for Manhattan here in central New Jersey today. They're 84 for 8. A great ball from Anirudh Emanuel, who picks up yet another wicket. And he now is one of 5 bowlers to have earned a dismissal. Manoj Acharya will come in at number 10. And they haven't had any run-outs, so they were all assigned to different bowlers. As Rushik Patel, as we said, 4 for 15. Emmanuel now joins Sachin Mailavarapu, Sai Mukamala, and Siddharth Matani. As here it is again, just swung under it. And the furniture was sent scattering. 84 for 8. And Anirudh Emanuel will continue from the dog park end against Manoj Acharya. And Manoj, great with the ball. Highest score with the bat is 34, and that was all the way back in 2022. So we'll see how this goes. They require 85 more runs in the final 22 balls. Down the ground goes Manoj. And Dominic Ricci walking in. And he looked like a little Pekingese had wandered up to him, and he was scritching it on the head and saying hello. That's where we are at in the game right now. A single for Manoj Acharya, 85 for 8. Opening up off his pads, off. I think it wouldn't have hit in line anyway. He was opening up and trying to swat at it. 2 to come. And a little check swing into the slips. They now have 2 slips in for Preet Shah. And we've seen Jesse Singh go to this on occasion, where he's brought that second slip in. And again, trying to open it up and flay it away, but can't. And Anirudh Emanuel finishes his day with a wicket. 1 for 12. A great, great day for Anirudh Emanuel. The New Jersey Stallions are almost arithmetically home. Manhattan needs 84 off the final 18. The required run rate is 28. And legally speaking, once it extends past 36, the game is gone. And there is the story. You can see the worm chart basically flatlining for the Manhattan Yorkers after, I would say, about the 14th over. Those 2 wickets that were taken there, and they really haven't done much with it. Sachin Mailavarapu, who is 1 for 3. He's given up a lot of byes, but that hasn't affected him. And the Yorkers have not had a double-digit over since the 3rd, and since they got 9 off Matani in the 13th, 2-6-3-1. Acharya cuts this one to fine leg, and they are always looking for 2. And they get it. Well, if nothing else, this will put a dent in the run rate, or the Yorkers will try to do that by scoring as many runs as they can here. And you never know what the end of the season is going to look like, but you know the Stallions want to end this as quickly as they can. And a good ball. Watches Acharya try to fence at it. And we mentioned all those byes that Mailavarapu has given up. 15 extras in the game for the New Jersey Stallions. 6 wides by Jesse Singh, with those 5 byes given up in the second over that Sachin has bowled. And that one should be given as a wide. It does, and it bounces off of Ramdahal's pads, and they'll take an extra from that, so 2 more runs to the total. 89 for 8, and they don't lose a ball, so 82, now 80 required off the final 15. But we're now at 32 runs and over. Cut away by Preet Shah. Will take another run as Stephen Wigg, who has played a great match. He has only been required to bowl 1 over, but 3 catches today. He only gave up 5. Even when he bowled, he only gave up 5 runs in the process. Acharya opens up. They'll get a single and 1 only. And that ends. Oh, 1 more to come. Sorry. 91 for 8 now. Remember Manhattan playing a game last year against the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, where at one point they were 25 for 9. And Preet Shah goes with the reverse sweep, and he's going to be gone LBW. So if you're going to go out like a supernova. And Preet Shah is the 9th wicket. went for the reverse sweep, but caught him plumb, and Sachin Mailavarapu has his second wicket, and that is his 68th. So 91 for 9 with 2 overs to go. And it's Dhruv Pawar who will be the last man in. So I said 68. It might actually be 67. I'm always still kind of learning at what point it updates. But so Dhruv Pawar will come in with Manoj Acharya, and with 39 runs and over to require, this game is all over bar the shouting, but again, there'll be a question of the run rate. And Stephen Wigg, who, as we said, has taken 3 catches today, he is none for 5 and is 1 over. He will come in and bowl this 19th over. I'm curious as to who will bowl the 20th. It might be Sai Mukamala. He's only bowled 1, but they also might see if they bring another paceman in. But they're serious about getting this 10th wicket. And I think the vision is that Stephen Wigg will take it in this over against the bottom 2 batters, Manoj Acharya and Dhruv Pawar. It'll be Manoj Acharya who will stand in. And again, these 2 teams will be back at it tomorrow, and the Stallions at 5-0 would love to stake themselves an even larger lead in the Eastern Division. And a defensive shot played by Manoj. His 5th run, 92 for 9. Would be a moral victory if the Yorkers could get to their 100. And that's all it would be, is a moral victory. There's no column for that in the standing sheet, but that's all about the mental aspect too. Driven, and another run. So they're creeping towards 3 figures, as Dhruv Pawar is off the mark on his first ball. So the Yorkers will drop to 1-6. They cannot win the division. And if the New York Titans win later, they'll be in very dire straits in terms of even making the playoffs, although as Acharya strokes another single, Sai Mukamala makes the stop on a day when he hit 82. If you missed the first half, an explosive innings from him, including 8 sixes. And he now is number 21 all-time in runs scored in minor league cricket. Well, he scampered across and went for the reverse scoop. Why not? It's party time, and Manoj Acharya with kind of a, why did you do that? Why? Well, they get a run. It's given as a leg by, so all of that, and Pawar doesn't even get credit for it. 95 for 9. 74 required off the final 8. And feathered away, but just out of the reach of Ramdihal. That would have been a catch had he gotten to it. And Manoj Acharya. And as of now, of course, the Titans playing in the late game up in New York. They're a game and a half ahead of New York, are the Stallions, and for now, 2 ahead of the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers, although we haven't checked on that score of that game in a while. And that one is turned to the onside. And it'll be another single. So Wigg finishes the day, 2 overs that he bowled, none for 10. Final over coming up, Manhattan, 97 for 9. And let's take a quick little squiz in. In fact, we can tell you that the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers have defeated the New England Eagles by 9 wickets with 7 overs to go, easily chasing down a target of 88. So the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers now go to 4-2, and the New England Eagles now 1-5. And the New York City Titans will be playing the Philadelphians in about an hour, and you get a chance to watch that. I know Lenny Chibar is up in Glenville, New York. I imagine Matt is with him. I wasn't 100% sure about that, but always fun to listen to those two. Final over coming, and it will be Sachin Mailavarapu who will bowl. And the Stallions have been in postseason, have made it to the postseason in all four previous seasons. They look good to do it here as Pawar gets another run, 98 for 9. And then again, these two teams, as we keep saying, will be back here 10:45 tomorrow. I'll be here. I know Mosen will be here. It's always fun working with Mo. Another run is taken. Are they going to take a second? Yeah, why not? This will be the 100 if they get it. And it appears they have. Or have they? Nope, they have. So there's the 100 up. It comes in the 20th over. So, as we said, a moral victory for them, at the very least. On what was always going to be a very difficult ask, but when you have arguably one of the best bowling attacks in the league to do it against, it was going to be a tough ask. Went for the sweep and came up empty. In fact, is gone as a wide. 101 for 9. And Acharya. I think if these two, if they can last the innings without getting out, a last ball run out aside while trying to stretch the run rate, I think that too will be something that can take maybe into tomorrow. And that one is hit well to the onside. And has gone through for 4 more. Manoj Acharya gets into double figures. Good for him. 105 for 9. Was hit with some pace. 2 balls left in the ball game. And went to dab that one back down. Final ball coming up. And so Manhattan were at least able to survive to the final ball. But the bowling attack, Rushik Patel taking 4, and that is that. And the New Jersey Stallions have an emphatic victory here. It is a 63-run victory, and they remain undefeated in minor league cricket as they go to 5-0, and for the time being have a 1.5 lead over both the New York City Titans and the New Jersey Somerset Cavaliers. Here's a look at the card for the Yorkers, and it never really got settled. The top scorer ends up being Deep Patel on 19, but Dinesh Patel was stumped for 12 after Pranav Chetapalliam was gone for 9. Chetapalliam's woes as the opener continue. Derek Narayan got 18, but not really any help, and it was a superb bowling performance once again as Rushik Rajendra Patel, the pick of the bowlers, a career day for him in minor league cricket, 4 for 15. Sachin Mailavarapu picks up 2 more. Sai Mukamala got a wicket, 1 for 6. And Arun Emanuel got a wicket as well, 1 for 12. And Siddharth Matani got 1 for 18. Jesse Singh, none for 18. He bowled well in his 2 overs. They didn't really need him today, nor did they really need the pace of Stephen Wigg. It was mostly the spinners that did in the Yorkers on this day. A look once again at the match summary, and you can see the story at the top for the New Jersey Stallions. Sai Mukamala, 82 off of 54. A great day from him. Dominique Ricci got run out on 44, but you know what? He was part of the foundation of this victory for the Stallions, who consolidate their position at the top. That'll do it for us. Once again, our thanks to Mohsen, our thanks to everybody in the production studio for bringing you today's match. We'll be back here at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time for the same two teams, the New Jersey Stallions and the Manhattan Yorkers. Again, the first ball is at 10:45. Until then, this is Brian Barish wishing you a pleasant good evening.